All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, Episode 1. A new show.
Indeed, yes.
For me.
Right, because I have already seen this show. Yeah. There was, I don't know, I guess I never figured that you would actually be interested in watching this show. I was like,
I'm very much
no.
interested in watching this.
Yeah. Never have I been so wrong. Yeah.
Yes, there's so many memes that have come out of this show.
Yep.
There's the whole character of Kana.
Yeah,
that
internet
she got
phenomenon
everywhere.
The mascot of just like
of adorableness.
Oh, well, what I loved the most about it though is that I would see her in things that weren't even remotely related to anime. Like, you were pretty sure that, like, the person who made this thing doesn't even watch anime.
Sure.
And yet they're like, oh, yeah, this is a thing. You know, they just sort of bought into the meme.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I love the idea of us watching a wholesome slice of life, maybe even some cute girls doing cute things kind of stuff, a little bit of comedy. Just
a little bit of ecchi.
Okay, I'm cool with that. Like, just getting us a lot more of a relaxed, kind of easy, just, you know.
Oh, it's great.
Smooth and just wholesomeness.
There is a reason that this show got as popular as it did. I feel like the hype might be potentially too much given how big, like Kana and, you know, and, all that got. But it's a great show.
Yeah, the best part about it, though, is that I have literally no idea that there's even going to be a plot or anything regarding this. Well, like, there might not be one.
There is a dragon, there is a maid, and there is someone called Kobayashi. And Kana. I'll let you have that one. But,
those are all different people. Not necessarily.
Maybe not.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yep. I would say what I'm really, like, excited for getting out of this show is... also kind of being a little bit of an homage to the studio.
Kyoto Annie.
Having lost so many wonderful people in that tragedy that happened. So let's just
have a great time.
Let's just have a great time with this.
Yeah.
And let's just jump right into it. All right, everyone. Now be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below, and then come back here for the discussion. All right, well, it's a world with dragons in it.
A world with dragons.
A world with actual dragons.
Yeah, and they're as souped up and crazy as you can imagine.
As you can imagine. And it's...
There you go. Yeah.
And that's the premise, is that it's dragons that... Of course dragons exist in this world. Why wouldn't they? But no, there was a chance encounter with a human that was drunk and then just really wanted a maid in her life and ended up somehow saving Tohru. Tohru was like smote down by like a god that transformed like lightning or energy into a sword. So I'm like thinking, is this like some kind of Thor, Odin potential kind of thing because the Yggdrasil tree? But then how did she actually save Tohru?
Right.
Whatever it was something so dramatic that Tohru is like actually in love with Kobayashi.
Right.
Like so much so
that
she is like
solid.
She is sucking her fluids off of the shirt. She is like huffing every bit of her scent that she can. It's an animalistic
trying
urge.
To feed her tail to her.
Yep. Because that's a thing.
Yep.
It's wonderful because it's so over the top that it leads to some snappy dialogue.
Oh yeah,
and then of course our main character Kobayashi is the, no pun intended, to the straight man essentially to the
well, right, because it's the contrast between all the ridiculousness that can happen because, you know, let me call Fafnir, kill them all and curse their offspring and, you know, okay, let's not do that, you know, or helpful advice, you know, with the person with lower back pain and stuff because they're working their desk job and doing their programming thing and just needs to have a drink after work and be able to unwind and relax and whatnot. Yeah.
And then vent a little bit about work to someone else that understands work, which is Takia. Takia is secretly an otaku who kind of enjoys these types of discussions that they get into because Kobayashi is very much a very willing participant in these drunken kind of ramblings.
Just kind of hanging out and venting, you know, mutual venting.
Right, absolutely. So I totally relate to Kobayashi. Her character makes like me very excited about this show's
I
future
love her
here
so much.
It is wonderful.
Yep.
And
it's a great contrast to Tohru, like, because I feel like, especially with KyotoAni shows, like, because KyotoAni has such a reputation for, you know, the wholesomeness and adorableness and cuteness and everything, that having a show like this where you definitely have that character in Tohru, right?
Yes.
And you know, Kana's on her way. Having Kobayashi as a foil to that, and sort of as a main anchor perspective character for the show, so that it feels kind of grounded in the midst of that. Like I feel like it draws more attention to why that kind of thing is so wonderful. Like it's the kind of thing how you only really, really, truly appreciate a dog once you're like grown up and there's all the stresses of life and things like that. Whereas when you're a kid, it's like, oh, it's a dog, it's awesome.
It's just going to be a play partner.
Yeah, it's going to be a play partner. But then when you're like, oh, this dog that, you know, absolutely loves you and just wants to spend time with you.
This is my soulmate now.
Yeah, exactly, right. Yeah. So in this case here, we've got that regular person for the, you know, rambunctious, bubbly Tohru. Yeah.
Tohru's dialogue is hilarious, not just because of the absurdity of a lot of the things that she's saying, but because she does seem to catch on in some ways.
Yeah.
But then sometimes she'll take things almost a little bit too literally.
Old habits die hard.
And but I think that aspect of a character where their interpretation on the things that they're seeing is something that we can follow means that there are going to be other interpretations based on other characters, because obviously there's going to be other dragon girls.
Sure, yeah.
So what will be their interpretation of things? What will be their connection, not just to humanity, but maybe to each other? And that's probably where a lot of the fun's going to come in with this show, is seeing the same kind of situation like what happened with Kobayashi and Takia, where Tohru is like, I don't understand, please speak dragon, like, please, like, what is going on?
About? Yeah.
No, the conversation's too low level. And then they get into the idea of them being, then Tohru being some kind of gaijin, because she's basically, you know, mocking maid culture by going after the more cosplay kind of Western appropriated version of this maid culture, and thus slandering the whole thing. And she's like, what, is this not high level enough for you, Tohru? It's just, oh my god, the drunken antics were hilarious, but I want to see that kind of a back and forth between like Tohru and another dragon, and then Kobayashi's just like, oh no, there's more of them.
Yeah, because it's that dissonance of just sort of the stranger in a strange land, done for comedic purposes, that just makes it so wonderful. Because
all the comedic purposes.
Yeah, because it's this wonderful balance where you can be world building, essentially, because you have these two characters that absolutely know what they're talking about.
Absolutely.
Talk about stuff that the audience has no clue what they're talking about, both from the standpoint of Kobayashi's work, and then if Tohru has a conversation like that with another dragon, they can talk about things like, oh yeah, you know, the tree and the, you know, all that stuff, and it's like, oh yeah, I totally know how that works. Well, it leaves that curse behind you.
The teething dragon on its roots, you know.
Right. It's like, okay, cool. Those are the kinds of things that we like. Those are the kinds of dragons we have to deal with, right? You know, like that's the situation here. Right. This isn't some, I'm a slightly big lizard and sometimes I can breathe a little fire. This is the phenomenal cosmic power, you know, itty bitty living space.
Are you a strong dragon? I'm capable of bringing about Armageddon. Like, bringing about, like, let's not bring about, you know. Like,
hold on now, please don't do that. Don't do that.
What I love about this is that Tohru is a character so far that is based around the contradiction that she very much loves, needs in some ways, Kobayashi. The weak one, the inferior human. She has this trauma that's literally a nightmare for her, and she feels comforted and at home and protected in some ways by being in bed with this lovely, you know, put upon, you know, working young person, you know?
It's the, like, because it's the dichotomy that they set up with all these things, both with the dragon and the maid and the fantasy and the real, but then also, she was a dragon. That means she burned cities, like
decimated people, incinerated
talking
armies.
About, oh yeah, I can bring about Armageddon. It's like, so okay, if that's what you can do, what did you regularly do? Why was it that she
went to other worlds and did stuff? It's all very complicated.
Right.
But she's so strong, and yet she needs emotional connection.
Yep, exactly.
It's perfect.
Yep,
it's a perfect contradiction.
A place where you feel you belong.
Yep. And I love that they use the comedy purposes in some ways to combine with the ecchi kind of jokes of sorts, because yes, she very much wants Kobayashi. This is not a I kind of like you. She's like, no, I straight up sexually I love you.
Yeah, what was it? She was talking about are you wanting to eat me or something? She's like, no, I want you sexually.
Right. There's the point where she's talking about how much she appreciates her or something like that.
Yeah.
And when she's kind of going through okay, wait, how did we meet? What what happened? What's the connection here? She's talking about she talks about actually this bit of saying I dislike certain things. My friend Herensuge was hit with an egg without yolks and killed. It's
apparently Usopp rolled a natural 20.
Yeah, seriously. And many of my friends were slain, using the things that they like. And, it brings up basically liquor,
love, gems, love.
Mm-hmm. Money, alcohol, and all these things. But she's like, I love you. And she's like, oh, yeah, are you planning to eat me? And she's like, no, I didn't mean that way. I mean sexually. And it's like, I'm a woman, though. And it's like, but no, you saved me.
Yeah.
And I think at this point, this was the point where they were basically saying, haha, comedy. No, actually, this is serious here. Mm-hmm. This is where the heart of the show is that you saved her. And we still don't know how or why.
Well, and there's because there's the literal problem that she had of she got, a sword stuck in her from a god or something.
Yeah.
But then there's also the oh yeah, maybe she was able to find connection with, some random drunk human, right? Mm-hmm. Who wasn't afraid of her, didn't try and, kill her or whatever, because that difference that was able to be bridged.
Sure.
They were able to form a connection, even if it was something that Kobayashi didn't hardly remember afterwards.
Please don't make Kobayashi have latent magical abilities. That's just my thing. I please keep it wholesome in the slice of life kind of situation here, because
sorry,
if it ends
Caleb,
up being
there's a tournament arc and Kobayashi's going to be the very best.
Because I want it to be a thing of where she saved her from the standpoint of that maybe Tohru was going to give up, and then this drunk human stumbled in and was like, "Hey, you want to have a drink with me?" She's like, "Oh, look, a dragon." Sure. All right.
Yeah,
Let's drink,
Yeah,
and then they have a wonderful time. And during that whole thing, Toru's like, oh, maybe I don't have to live amongst the gods and the demons and the angels and the crazy fantastical things.
Yeah.
I could live amongst the humans with her. In fact, she wants me to live with her. Oh, home. Yes. Okay. I like that.
Yep. And
it's not a thing of where she saved her literally
she
from
pulled
dying.
The god sword out of her.
She didn't pull the god sword out of her necessarily.
This is going to turn into fate.
Yeah. But what it could have been was just a thing of I have nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Maybe the battle that she lost was basically her final stand defending her home.
Sure.
And now she's been ousted.
Well, and even if you think about it, what kind of home do dragons have? Because they traditionally, they'll go take over some place and make it their lair, their hoard, their whatever, right? Mm-hmm. But if people are constantly going and chasing down these dragons to try and out them, and dragons live for a very long time,
having a safe home,
having a place where it's actually a place to stay and not worry, and yep.
So maybe
I will tell you, it's not. It's Kobayashi
doesn't awaken latent magical abilities. Okay, thank God. But what could be fun here is that it starts off with something where Kana shows up, and she's like, "Where have you been? We need you. The war is still ongoing," and it's all like, "But I've found home," and Kana's like, "This is unacceptable.
You think this is a motherfucking game?"
Yeah, exactly. And she's like, "Odin has been on a rampage, and his brat dick kid Thor is running around shoving his dick in his sword and all kinds of things. So we need to have you come back and stop. You're so powerful. And then Kana's all like, well, maybe actually, okay, maybe I can stay here too. And then it's going to be a thing where they're going to slowly attract a power base of all these dragons until eventually, actually, the gods can't deny that this city is somehow now the new, like, coven or haven for dragons. And they're like, we must stop them from gathering too much power.
Kobayashi is summoned into the heavens to answer and be
Kobayashi is literally going to become the mother of dragons and literally just be like, go, defend our family, defend our home. And then just suddenly all of them transform, and it's power of Nakama friendship. And they all, of course, are deeply in love with Kobayashi for reasons. And it's just going to be wonderful.
There was a meme that I saw where it was Daenerys with like all the announcements of, Khaleesi, mother of dragons, blah, 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 all this stuff.
Name, all that stuff.
Yeah, first of her name. And they just photoshopped Kobayashi's face over it. It was wonderful. I love it so much. Yeah,
I can't wait. So y'all, that's the start of the show. All right. Mm-hmm. I'm very glad we're watching this one. This is going to be a lot of fun. There was I would say a good amount of little kind of snappy little funny moments of animation where they would showcase things shifting to kind of Tohru being dragon-like in her human form of sorts.
Yep.
And I was very much engaged with this whole silly, ridiculous narrative in some ways because I think like this was a really well done first episode. Like I couldn't spot anything where I was like, that was a little like jarring or a little bit presented in a weird way. So I just Kyoto Annie, you did Kyoto Annie, a really good job.
Amazing. Like the fact, like because something as simple as like hey, there's a regular person and they have a dragon as a maid. It's like okay, that seems very like arbitrary kind of, and it's like no. Actually, we're gonna show you. This is genius, right? It's gonna be amazing, and you're gonna love it.
So, is this original or is this based off of an adaptation of
I can't remember. I think it might be a light novel.
It sounds like a light novel.
It sounds like a light. Well, yeah, with the name like Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. It's like there's the premise.
Right.
But but I love this. I love this show. I love the style of how Kyoto Annie does everything. Like even and yes, it's very snappy.
It's very snappy.
Like, it's incredibly snappy.
It's not lazy.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
This is a very like fast-paced kind of snappy little slice of life. I love it.
And that's something that like for me, one of the things that I would oftentimes get concerned about when I would watch slice of lives in my own time is how do they handle like keeping it engaging since there isn't as much of a like traditional plot usually, right? So how do you keep things moving? But as was displayed here, just fine.
Yeah, you can
just fine.
Like you can even lean on a little bit of repetitive gags. You can have little bits of like, oh, I'm leaving. Wait, I have to teach her something right before I leave. Yep. That leads to insert funny, thing that happens later.
Tohru just slightly misunderstand, or not slightly, completely misunderstands something, and antics ensue.
Yeah.
Yep.
So y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there. And all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us about these stories, about anime in general. And you can also talk with Jacob about the sci-fi novel that he wrote.
Yep. So, Battle Lines, I wrote it. It's awesome. It's a sci-fi novel, and it's on Amazon. Link in the description below, in both hardback and ebook. Go check it out.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.